Hi. Committee will please come to order. Before we begin considering amendments, I'd like to yield to the gentleman from Texas, ranking Republican member of the committee, Mr. Barton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, I want to commend you on the fair way you've conducted this markup this week. And this is a very difficult subject. It's a very complicated subject. It's a subject that there's strong feelings on both sides about. It would be an easy markup to lose control and let tempers flare, but that's not happened, and that is a tribute to your chairmanship. With regard to today's schedule, as you well know, you and I had a meeting last evening, and we have agreed that it wouldn't be to the benefit of the committee or the comity between the members if sometime this afternoon we begin to engage in parliamentary procedures that would force either a reading of the bill or an amendment which would take it beyond the scheduled closure time, or a previous question motion by the majority which would violate the traditions of the committee. So we have agreed to expedite the process today in terms of amendments and to put time limits on each amendment, approximately 10 minutes per side at the maximum. In return, we will have a final passage vote sometime this afternoon, within an hour or so after the House concludes its business. And when we come back after the memorial work period, you have committed to holding at least 1 day of hearing on the cap and trade allowance system, and if possible 2 days of hearings that would be fair and balanced, so that we can get into some of the issues that we've not yet been able to get into, just understanding what the mechanism is of the programs in Title III and Title IV.
Okay. I want to thank Mr. Barton for his cooperation in making this as smooth a markup as it has been up to this point. I know there are strong feelings on this issue, and it's important that we work through the consideration of various proposals in a spirit of comity and tolerance and receptivity. We do have a lot of work to do with not a great deal of time, and I think it makes sense to set time limits for the amendments that we'll be considering today. We've already seen some amendments that we've considered up to this point have taken an hour and a half to 2 hours, where I think we could have shortened the period of time for discussion. So if we try to discipline ourselves on both sides, and the Republican side has 20 amendments, we figure that on our side we'll have 5 to 10 amendments. If we limit the time to no more than 10 minutes per side, and many of the amendments will be 10 minutes total, 5 minutes on each side, and we'll have to make an evaluation as we go through the consideration of the amendments. I think that would allow us to be able to give the priority amendments on both sides consideration and an opportunity for members to vote on them. We will have 3 series of votes on the House floor today, so our work will not be uninterrupted. I have agreed with Mr. Barton that we will hold at least 1 day, full day of hearings on how the transmission, how the allocation system will work, and the mechanisms of it, and so we could get a greater spotlight on the mechanics of it all, and I think that would be a valuable hearing, and I've agreed that we will pursue that. We will, in fact, hold that day of hearings and then see if we have time and reason to have additional hearings on the subject. So with that understanding, I'd like to have us move forward now.
Can I ask?
Yes, gentleman from Nebraska.
In regard to the agreement on the hearings, was there any discussion of whether that's a full committee or subcommittee? So those of us that aren't on the subcommittee can participate? Is my specific interest.
We hadn't discussed that specifically, but I think the best approach would be to have it in the subcommittee, and all members who wish to attend may be able to participate.